Hi guys, so 3.2 we are writing expressions now. So we are turning basically our math sentence into an algebraic one. So some of these keywords in this little box here you want to really pay attention to, because these are your highlighted words of telling you what operation is really necessary for that problem. So addition, you should be familiar with a lot of these. Some of them that might be a little bit different for you is saying more than, increase by, total, sometimes even just simply saying and. Subtraction is a difference of, less than, decreased, fewer. Multiplication, if it isn't specifically saying multiplied by, sometimes just saying of or twice. And then division, there's not too many ways to say this, so we have divided by or quotient of. So let's look at a few examples of how we would write these numerical expressions. I have this little hint over here that says careful when writing expressions involving subtraction or division. Order matters. It's very important. If you are using either division or subtraction, the order does matter. So you have to pay attention to that. Okay, so let's look at the first one. It says write a phrase as an expression. So 8 fewer than 21. So we want to look at this. I'm saying 8 fewer than 21. Okay, so because of how this is phrased, I actually am going to take my 21 and then fewer, I'm going to use subtraction. Here's our fewer in our subtraction box here. Okay, 8 fewer, so I'm going to subtract 8 from it. Okay, so just making it numbers and writing it as an expression. Okay, now the product of, so again, if you don't remember what product might be, go back to our box up here. Okay, so product would be multiplication. So I would say the product of 30 and 9. Okay. All right, example 2 here. Example 2 is just more, except that we are going to be using variables in our expressions. Okay, so this is definitely algebraic. So let's look at what we have. So 14 more than a number x. Okay, so I'm going to have my number x and I want more than, so that's addition, and I have 14. Okay. A number y minus 75. So this again is, I have minus, which means subtraction. Pay attention to order. So a number y minus 75. So we can write it just how it's said. So y minus 75. The quotient of, okay, again, paying attention to that order here, the quotient of 3 and a number z. Okay, so order tells me here that whatever's first I need. So I need 3 divided by z. Now I can write it with my division symbol, or I can also write this as 3 with my fraction bar z. Both of them will represent division. Okay. Now there are some problems that are on your own, so please pause the video, take some time to write through, practice all of these, and then we'll check our answers in just a minute. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go through some of our answers here. So the sum of, so sum means addition, and we have our 2, so 18 plus 35. 16 times is multiplication, so 6 times 50. 25 less than a number, so this is one of those subtraction ones. Now most of the time we can just write it in the order we see it, but less than a number, we have to pay attention to what it's actually saying. So that's b minus 25. A number divided by 4, so either with our division, our fraction bar, or we can say our division symbol. Both are correct. the total, so total here, addition, so t plus 11, and 100 decreased by k. Okay, so I'm taking 100 and it's decreased, so subtraction by k. Okay, so make sure that you checked your work, you did them all correct. Let's look at example 3 here. Example 3 says the length of Interstate 90 from west coast to east coast is 153.5 miles more than 2 times the length of Interstate 15. Okay, from Southern California to northern Montana. Let M, so there's your variable, represent the length of Interstate 15. So I have M here. Which expression can you use to represent the length of Interstate 90? So let's go back through and read it again. Okay, so the length of Interstate 90 from west coast to east coast is, so this is where it's going to tell me. So I have 153.5 miles more, so more than is going to give me addition, then 2 times, so 2 times the length of Interstate 15. Interstate 15 is an M, so 2 times that, I'm going to multiply, 2 times M. And when you have a variable and a number next to each other to represent multiplication, you just put them next to each other. Okay, so then let's look at what we have here. So it looks like I can say A is what I kind of wrote down here. Okay, even though the order is different, addition, I can switch my order around, but I have 2M plus that 153.5. Okay, the next one says that you have a cypress tree that is 10 inches tall. Each year, its height is increased by 15 inches. So I'm going to highlight some things that I'm going to need to remember. Write an expression making y, the variable, represent the number of years. So each year, it's growing 15 inches. So no matter what year it is, so if it's been 2 years, I would take 2 times 15 to figure out how much it grew that year. So I'm going to take each year 15 inches and make that 15y. I'm going to have to multiply 15 by however many years it's been. But I also have to pay attention that it started at 10 inches tall. So I'm going to add 10 inches because it didn't start at 0 inches. It wasn't nothing. It was 10 inches when it first started. So this would be my expression. Okay, what is the height of the tree after 4 years? So we would put 15 times 4 plus 10. Okay, so 15 times 4, what would that give us? So I have 60 plus 10, so it would be 70 inches after my 4 years. Okay, then what is the height after 9 years? So do it the same thing again. I have 15 times 9 plus my 10, so order of op, so 15 times 9 gives me 135, and then I want to add that 10 to it. So that's going to give me 145 inches after 9 years. Okay. Here's another on your own. Pause the video, take some time, try writing your equations on your own, and then you can check your answers after you unpause. Okay, so I'm going to read through this. Your friend has 5 more than twice as many game tokens as your sister. Let T represent the number of game tokens your sister has. Write an expression for the number of game tokens your friend has. So your friend has 5 more, so that's, adding 5, then twice as many tokens as your sister, and T represents the number of tokens your sister has. So I'm going to have twice, that's going to be multiplication, and that's going to be multiplication by 2. times however many tokens sister has here. So 2t plus 5 is going to be my expression. Okay. And there's your homework assignment.